Hi team! CJ McDonald and I are going to do a quick video where she helps me interpret the ever elusive elite report. I really struggle with how to understand the categories and really track where I'm at, so I'm here to learn from someone who knows way beyond me. So CJ, help me please interpret my elite report.
All right, so you sent me your elite report and allowed me a few, I took probably about 30 minutes just to kind of dissect it and better understand where you are currently today in your business and how far you are off from your goal of hitting elite for 2015. So let's go ahead and pull up a screen share with your elite report, and I have here.
Okay. So.
Okay. So scroll up.
To here.
Okay. Scroll down just a tiny bit. So, team, when you guys are at a diamond rank level and your personally sponsored coaches are hitting Success Club and your ATV is growing significantly, and when your coaches that you sponsored in the given year are accumulatively hitting 500 personal volume points in an aggregate way, you begin to accumulate elite points. So each month, on the second Friday of every month, once you hit diamond rank and you have some points on the board, you'll begin to get an email with a report that looks very similar to the one that you're seeing on Ellen's screen right now. So it will tell you what your paid rank is. It will tell you what last year's ATV is. Now, just so you're aware, ATV is made up of your right leg, your left leg, as well as your own personal volume. And then it'll tell you how many sponsored coaches you have that went diamond in that year, who's advanced, etc. And then it gets into the actual numbers of being elite. So,
and excuse me, ATV stands for annual team volume, correct?
Yeah, sorry, I should have clarified that. So, so we're currently in about the middle of the year, a little past the middle of the year, and in 2015, the requirement for elite from a point perspective is 135 points, and you must be a paid 5-star on the last Wednesday of the year. And I think the last Wednesday of the year is like at the 28th this year. So
it is the 30th.
30th. Okay, so the 31st is a Thursday?
Correct.
Okay, perfect. So the 30th of 2015. So December 30th of 2015, you've got to be paid 5-star. If you're going for Premier, it's paid 2-star, but the point value is the same. So it's still 135 points.
Okay.
So let's dissect her ATV first. So Ellen had last year a total ATV of 289,040 points. Now, the way that you earn ATV points is essentially once you hit your ATV for last year, every 10,000 points above that, you get a point. So as you can see here on the screen, last year Ellen had 289. This year she's already at 306. And so she's achieved 1 point and is very close, only about 2,200 points from getting her next incremental ATV point. Now, as you can see on the screen as well, it maxes out at 40. Now, Ellen and I went through her ATV yesterday, and based on projections and based on if she were not to grow any more at this point, which of course we know is not going to happen, she would accumulate between now and the end of the year an additional 22 points, whereas in that volume or in that category, she would end the year, if she grew no more and just kept kind of a status quo for the rest of the year, she would earn an additional 22 points. So that would put her at a total of 23 points in that category. Now, Ellen would have to tank her business for her to not get those extra 22 points. And we all know that she's a freaking crazy rock star shooting for 10-star, 15-star in her future for sure. And so that's not going to happen. So we can pretty much bank that Ellen at the end of the year is going to have 23 points in her incremental TV.
As a worst case scenario.
As a worst case scenario. Okay, so let's start there. And the reason I start there is because that'll give us a baseline for the remaining points that she needs. So if I pull out my calculator, which is my handy dandy iPhone, I take the current points that she has today, which is 76, plus the additional 22 we know she's going to get in ATV. And that puts her at 98 points doing nothing but just helping to keep her business status quo. And again, we all know that's not going to happen.
So that's 98 of the 135 I need.
Correct.
Based on status quo, including only ATV points.
Correct. And so if you take the 135 minus the 98, that essentially means that Ellen needs a total of 37 elite points in either of the other two categories. So Ellen, does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
It makes sense.
Okay, perfect. So now as she scrolls up, we're going to go to Sponsored Coach Success Club points first. And I'll explain to you why. It just makes more sense.
Yes.
Because the personally sponsored coach PV is a little bit more complicated. Would you agree, Ellen?
Yes. After yesterday, I would agree.
Okay. So if we take...
Oh, hold on a second.
Yep.
Did you cover the fact that back to the ATV category, so across here.
Yep.
That for every 10,000 points more.
Yep, I did, but let's explain it real quick again. So
because it seemed weird to me until the aha moment. It seemed weird to me that point was so low, but it's actually pretty normal to only be at about, because I had to basically beat last year ATV wise, and by me beating it, what I really mean is all of you guys, all of the team. It's truly the team. I needed the team to beat where the team was at last year, and it's August, and that's happened. So it's not bad that this is a 1 point.
Correct, and it's actually really normal. Think about it like this. If you were Apple, if you were the CEO of Apple, you aren't going to beat what you did last year in the first 2 or 3 months of this year.
Right.
Now, may beat month over month, but you're not going to, if you did as Apple, if you did $5 billion in 2014, you're not going to probably do $5 billion in the first half of the year. So it's very normal to see the growth the way that Beachbody calculates it. So essentially, Ellen, you're correct. You had to basically hit the same number of ATV, which again is the annual team volume. You had to hit that ATV number and then grow from there. And so what Ellen will be able to do at the end of the year is she'll be able to take that 289,000, calculate it against whatever she ends the year at, and be able to figure her percentage of growth. So when you listen to like Tony Robbins or Brendon Burchard or any of the experts, they're always talking about a percentage of growth year over year. And a good indicator that your business is healthy, thriving, and growing is if you're at about a 30% or higher growth.
Okay.
And Ellen's going to blow that out. By the time you guys get to the end, Team Play Hard gets to the end of 2015, you guys are going to have done well over 30%. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think Brittany was looking at a projection that included momentum with our team and put me somewhere in the 600,000 ATV end of year range.
Yeah, because as a team you've already done 306. And this report that Ellen's looking at is through July. It's not through August, even though we're in August and filming this video. This is important to say that this report is through the end of July.
July, correct. Okay, got it. So then the next category, so that was the easiest to contemplate.
Yep.
The second...
And quite frankly, the best place to start, because it's the easiest one that you can project based on what you're currently doing today. Now, Ellen, before we go, let's tell everybody how we calculated how the 22 points, because I think I left that out.
Yeah, I thought there was something the backtracking and dividing.
Yeah. So essentially what we did was we looked at the last 4 weeks of Ellen's right leg, left leg, and personal volume to determine approximately where she is each week. Obviously, we times that by 4, and then we know that Ellen is going to be growing by X number between now and the end of the year, therefore giving her at least 22 additional points.
Right. Got it.
Okay. So let's go to personally sponsored Coach Success Club.
So we're jumping down from the top category to the third. We're leaving the middle one for last because it's a bear.
Right. So we look at this and we say, okay, back to my trusty calculator. So Ellen currently has 48 points. Now she maxes out for elite points at 61. So we take 61 minus the 48, and that gives us 13. Okay, so that gives us she needs a total of 13 points in that category.
For August, September, October, November, December.
Correct, in order to max out that number. Now, everybody should know that when it comes to Elite 10 and top coaches, there's no max, right? As we heard it at Summit, Mindy Wender had like 2,000 elite points. So we're talking about qualifying for elite in this conversation. So Ellen needs 13 personally sponsored coaches to hit Success Club. August, September, October, November, December. She needs 13 points in that category. Now let's talk about how you get points. So for every personally sponsored coach that signed up in 2014 and 2015, they help you qualify in this category. Now, one of the things that Ellen and I talked about yesterday is it's not a 2-year sign up. So it's not a rolling 24 months.
Which is I thought it was.
Right. Right. So it is 2014 and 2015. So if you have a coach that signed up in December of 2013 or before, they don't count. It's only your coaches that sign up January 1st, 2014 to present. So if we go back to our numbers, we know that we have 13 points to max out this category that we need. So we still have 5 months to get those 13 points. So we take the 13, we divide it by 5, and that gives us a 2.6. I always round up for error. So we said 3. Ellen needs 3 of her personally sponsored coaches to hit Success Club in August, September, October, November, and December. Now,
wait, 3. Yep. I need 3 to hit in those months that enrolled as a coach in 2014 and 2015.
Correct. Now, in Team Play Hard, 3 coaches of Ellen's personally sponsored hitting Success Club every single month for the next 5 months is not difficult. Now, one of the great things about this category is that there's a multiplier. So what's the multiplier? If you hit Success Club
meaning
every single month, meaning Ellen, then it essentially multiplies. So let's say Ellen has 3 coaches in August that hit Success Club that signed up in 2014 or 2015. She would get those 3 points for those personally sponsored coaches. But if she hit Success Club, she would get an additional 3 points. So it's essentially a point per coach if you yourself hit Success Club. So you see how
if Bobby
gives those multipliers.
So if Bobby and Jen Embers and Jen Fuji, all who've enrolled in the 2014-15 period, hit Success Club 5, and I hit Success Club 5,
right?
I get 6 or 8.
No, you'll get 6 points.
I don't get one for me.
No, you'll get 6 points.
What if they hit
August?
10?
What if they what?
What if they hit 10? Does it make a difference in the multiplier?
No.
And it doesn't make a difference if I hit 10 in the multiplier. Okay.
Nope. It's just a minimum of 5. Now, there are other reasons why we want to be hitting 10, but that's for a different video.
That's a different video.
Okay, so we've just shown that if Ellen only needs 13 points, then really she could not basically get those all 13 points in the month of August if 4 of her personally sponsored coaches hit Success Club.
Right.
Because it's essentially, you would need 6 of your personally sponsored coaches, because then you double that, that's 12. She would only need 1 point left. So we see in this report and where Ellen currently is in her business, how simple it is going to be for her to max out in this 61, in this personally sponsored coach Success Club bucket.
Right. So I'm looking good in categories 1 and 3.
Correct. Very good. Very good. Okay, so let's move to the personally sponsored coaches PV.
Yeah.
This one is a little bit more difficult to understand, but there's reasons why Beachbody incentivizes this category, and we'll talk about that too. So,
okay.
Personally sponsored coach PV is you only qualify, or you only get points in this category from your coaches that signed up in the given year that you're going for elite. So only Ellen's personally sponsored coaches that signed up in 2015 can help her earn elite points in this specific category. So if we were in 2016, it would be only coaches that had signed up in 2016. This category is why the Amy Silvermans and the Mindy Wenders and the Janelle Summers and I could name a ton, right, do heavy recruiting in January, February, and March. They sign the bulk of their coaches in the first 3 months of the year so that they can then teach them the art of building volume in their own businesses, therefore providing the ability for the top coach like Ellen or Amy Silverman to get as many points as possible in this specific category. Does that make sense?
Yes, it made sense, but I'm sorry. I want you to say it again because it's that eye-opening and important. I just want you to say it again.
Okay. So in the personally sponsored coach PV bucket, it is only it only counts. You only accumulate points in this category from coaches that are sponsored in the given year that you're trying to hit elite. So we're talking about your report for 2015. So any of your personally sponsored coaches that have signed up in 2015 can help you achieve elite points in this category. Such that if we were in 2016, it would only be the coaches that had signed up in 2016. Therefore, that is why Mindy Wender, Amy Silverman, Janelle, and all the rest of the top coaches, Melissa McAllister, do heavy recruiting in January, February, and March, because that gives them the extra ability to help teach these brand new coaches the importance of building a business based on volume.
Yes.
And it also helps those coaches build momentum in their elite points in this bucket. Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense. And I'd never heard that before as a strategy as far as, this heavy recruiting push in those early months and why. Not that we ever take our foot off that gas pedal.
Right. So I'm sure that everybody on your team, because most of your team, myself and my team included, really enjoy watching Amy Silverman. And so if you remember about middle of November, about Thanksgiving of last year, she started posting about the golden egg opportunity. Do you remember that? So she did numerous videos, numerous posts about this golden egg opportunity, and she sent everybody to a specific opt-in page, a specific email list. She created a master list, and she began to groom these people that were interested in this opportunity, and she did interviews, and she, had conversations with all these people to determine who would be best in her team, right? Again, it's a strategy. It's a strategy. It's not just randomly trying to pluck coaches.
Right.
Coaches, it's a strategy. So she interviewed them. It's kind of like the conversation I had with Brian Saunders yesterday. If I were to give you $100,000 and say, go open a 24-hour fitness, you would have to go rent a space. You would have to go buy the equipment. And then what would your next big thing that you would need to do be? Recruit.
Yeah, hire good leaders.
Yeah, you'd need somebody to run your front desk. You'd need personal trainers. You'd need somebody to run your membership. You'd need somebody to run your facilities. But you're not going to go just pluck an email or pluck a resume off of Google.
Yeah.
Do an interview process. And so that's essentially what Amy Silverman does. She does an interview process through the end of November into December. And then in January, she built up her next business center. She took it to 2-star. And then under that group, where the golden egg opportunity, under that group, she signed her next business center.
Got
so
it.
It's a golden egg opportunity because I'm giving you the ability to sign on with me prior to me opening my next business center, which is going to explode your business.
Right. That is amazing.
Thus
I did not know that.
Yeah, thus making it a golden egg opportunity.
Got it. Okay, got it.
We totally digress, but that's okay.
We didn't really digress, but we definitely went sideways.
Okay, so back to personally sponsored coach PV.
Okay.
So the way that you earn points. So Ellen, give me 4 names of people that signed up in your organization this year.
Heather.
Okay.
And Bobby is still this year.
Okay.
Sherry Faye.
Okay.
And Connie.
Connie and Chelsea too, right?
Chelsea's part of my personally sponsored by my second business center.
Yeah,
That's okay. We think that bleeds into this. Okay.
Yeah, it does bleed into this. We're pretty sure. Okay, so we've taken these 5 names. So every time there is an aggregate of 500 personal volume between these 5 coaches, Ellen gets a point. Let me say that again.
Okay.
Every time combined, Heather, Bobby, Sherry, Connie, Chelsea have an accumulation of 500 PV points between the 2 of them, which could be 100 for each. It could be Bobby's got 400, Heather has 1. It could be Chelsea has 500 and Sherry has 500. Bob, it's every time you get to that 500 marker with all of them, each of them getting there, it's accumulative, then you get a point.
And it's only 2015 coaches.
Only 2015 coaches.
Okay. And
go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to just kind of lay a little bit of context and let the team know that's watching this that this is the area of my weakness. So I'm looking really good in categories 1 and 3, and this is the area where this is the area of weakness for me, for the team. And it's one of the reasons you're seeing changes in the way I do recognition, because CJ, at one of our little rendezvous where she mentors me, she showed me how to look at the projection, the rolling PV, the projected PV, and stress that I need to start honoring and recognizing that. And then Brittany Adams and Doug Moss also said, like, anyone who is hitting above, or maybe it was you, CJ, it probably actually was you, anyone who's hitting, so if you notice our recognition from last week, anyone who had 300, was that you that told me? Anyone over 300 PV got their name on the list, because I want to incentivize and honor and recognize for your success, for my success. And I actually was missing the mark in the way I was incentivizing Success Club, who I was incentivizing with Success Club, and I wasn't even recognizing this volume issue, which is huge. I wasn't even recognizing it, and notice that's my area of weakness. So, you know, speed of the leader, speed of the team. So as I begin to learn to incentivize you guys differently, like I might start running challenges now. CJ was encouraging me, hit X amount of volume this month and you're going to get da 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 da.
Right,
So.
right. And so, because think about it, your projected volume is an indicator of the health of your business. So if your projected volume for 5 weeks is 180, then that essentially means that you have your Shakeology and one customer on Shakeology. So maybe the focus in your business then needs to be more around retention of your Shakeology customers.
Here's a question for you. So if ever since I started pulling this report, which is a few months now, a couple months since you told me to start focusing on this, like Lindsay Christensen is at the very top. Her each week she's been at the top.
Right.
So, but that doesn't help me. I mean, that's awesome. Go Lindsay. It's wonderful. I love it. Cause I love it, but that doesn't help me with Elite. That's just fabulous. Right.
Okay. So hold on. It does. It does. It just doesn't help you in this specific category.
It helps you with ATV.
Correct. So it does absolutely help you.
Okay.
And so we have to be, it's kind of like we take our businesses, and just like if we were an Apple, right? You've got distribution, you've got, innovation, you've got, your desktops, you've got to compartmentalize your business and how you incentivize, right? So the growth of the team is so important. So the Lindsay Christensens, the Fuji, the Karas, the ones that are hitting high projected PV, those people, regardless of when they signed up, are so critical to our business. And so it's important to continue to recognize them. Right. Now, not everybody's going to go for Elite.
Right.
And that's okay. But everybody should still be focusing on these buckets, because these buckets are the thermometer. They're the indicator for how healthy your business is.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that, because that's what I was like. I actually wanted to say that, we're looking at my Elite map because I have struggled to understand it. And we're looking at it because no one has really ever broken it down for me like this until CJ took the time. And so I want to I want to pay that forward for those of you, because I do have people on this team that are going to be shooting for Premier and Elite. Right. And sometimes in the shooting for the Elite, you end up Premier, and that's great. That's what happened to me last year. I was shooting for Elite, and I was always the bridesmaid, never the bride. That's what I thought. So anyway, so so my point is, I want my team to understand how to interpret this report, and CJ is the person who has done that for me. So I'm trying to pay that forward, and I'm so thankful, CJ. But also what she just said, regardless of whether you're trying to get Elite, and I certainly am not asking you to set up your goals and motivations for my success. We want you to know these buckets and benchmarks and numbers translate to your individual success, which is what we are so passionate about as well. So
and this goes along with the leader ladder as well. So if you haven't done the training in the Coach Online office on the leader ladder, take the time to go watch it. It's not a very long training, and it's very enlightening, right? And Ellen and I couldn't duplicate it. It's a really, really good training. So go take the time to watch that. Go take the time to watch that. Okay, so back to personally sponsored Coach PV. So you currently have 61 points.
No, 27.
I'm sorry, 27. Hold on 2 seconds. Billy, Michael just texted me and said, call him. Can you call him? Sorry. Okay. So we max out at 61 minus the 27 points that Ellen has, which means that she has the ability to get 34 more points, thus maxing her out. Now, I want to make a quick comment here. If you do the math, and you can see right here in the max count column, max gets you past the 135 you need. And so I would always recommend.
I was going to ask you that.
Going for the max. Focus on the max. Because if we fall short a little bit from the max, then we still hit it. But if we only focus on 135 and we fall a little bit short, then we miss it. So always focus on the max.
Okay.
It's the same as putting a date out there for hitting diamond and doing all the steps that you need to do to get there. And if you miss it, oh, well, at least you know you put the steps and you gave it your all. So it's the same concept. Okay, so back to where I was. So Ellen needs 34 points to max out this category. So again, we're going to do the same math. This is July's report, so we have 5 months left. So we're going to do 34 divided by 5, which gives us 6.8. I always round up, and so that's 7, the number 7. So Ellen needs to get 7 points per month in this category in order to max out this bucket. Does that make sense?
So does that mean I need 7 of my 2015 PSs to hit 500 points?
Yes and no.
It can be combinations of them.
Correct. So here's how you now calculate what you need. Okay. So you take the 7, which is the number of points you want per month, you times that by 500, and that gives you 3,500. Okay? You need 3,500 accumulative volume from all of your coaches per month that started in 2015. So.
Oh, per month.
Yeah. So you gave me Heather, Bobby, Sherry, Connie, Chelsea. Let's just go with those. Got those 5. So if we said these are Ellen's personally sponsored coaches from 2015, here's how we would do it. We'd say 3,500, which is the amount of volume that her new coaches need to be generating each month from in August, in September, in October, November, and December, 3,500 each month. So you take that number and you divide that by the amount of coaches that she has. And she has 5 new personally sponsored. So 35 divided by 5 is 700. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you can do it many different ways. So you could say, and I really hate using people's names because then they think that so we're going to do different names. So we're going to say Joe. We're going to say Bob.
Susie Q.
No, that's too close to Bobby. We're going to say Joe. Susie Q, which is actually my nickname for my aunt. We're going to say Bill, because I can pick on my husband. We're going to say Jen, and then we're going to say Ange. Okay, so your personally sponsored coaches for 2015 is Joe, Susie, Bill, Jen, and Ange. Okay?
Okay.
And so you can now dissect this $3,500 in like 15 different ways. So you could say that each of these people need to get 700 personal volume per month.
Mm-hmm.
You could say that Joe is going to get 1,500 and Susie Q is going to get 0 and Bill's going to get 500.
Okay.
And Jen's going to get 1,000 and Ange is going to get 500.
Okay.
So now what you do is you look at their projected PV and you say,
that's column number 1 in your sponsorship drill down.
Right. And so you're going to say Joe is currently projecting PV of 1,250 and I need him at 1,500. So I'm going to communicate with Joe. We're going to like break that down. But think about this. If Joe's current projected PV is 1,250 and you need him at 1,500, which obviously benefits his business as well.
Right.
Then that's 250 point difference. Divide that by 90 and that's like 2.7 Shakeology orders. Isn't that Success Club anyways?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's really it's not that Ellen needs you to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
It's that you need to do X, Y, and Z to build a solid foundation in these buckets for your business. And because she's mentoring you and because this is a team effort, she ends up getting elite points just like you will when you get to the point where you have personally sponsored coaches.
Right. So the irony and how this really translates in my mind and my heart is that this structure actually makes me a better leader to help them hit their goals and be on track with what they need from this company.
Yes, because it gives you the thermometer. It's the thermometer for the health of somebody's business.
Right.
Now, you can go into your back office and you can say, okay, this based on these kind of categories, right? Success Club, PV, and then growth, which is where ATB is. So that's total team growth. This person's business is healthy. Joe's business is healthy and it's experiencing healthy growth. Whereas Susie Q's business is flat and stagnant. How do I help her be more successful in the goals that she told me she wanted to achieve? So yes, you're absolutely right. This helps you be a better leader because it helps you dissect your business in a strategic way.
I got it.
So Ellen needs to help her personally sponsored 2015 coaches build a more solid foundation in coach PV.
Yeah. Right.
Which is a byproduct of Success Club, and it's a byproduct of Shakeology retention. That line, that column, that bucket is only an indicator of those two things. Are you hitting Success Club, and are you helping your customers stay on Shakeology, and do you have high customer retention? Because we all know that we could go out and sell 5 challenge packs, and all 5 of those customers the following month could get off Shakeology.
You're right, CJ. And since you've actually turned me on to looking at these volume, the everyone's projected volume, it's one thing that's really fascinated me is actually kind of comparing it with Success Club and history of Success Club. Because if historically you're someone that is hitting high Success Club points, if you're retaining also those projected volumes should be equally very high. They should be in tandem if there's a Shakeology retention. I had that same thought myself. I hadn't heard you say that before too. But those should correlate if we are exactly not signing on people that are canceling their Shakeology order.
Right. And how do we help people with Shakeology retention?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Well, what I do is, because I definitely want to sell the challenge pack and get the 2 Success Club points and try to upsell and all of that. But what I try to do is say, I want you, yes, you can cancel this, because they might not even wanted it.
Right.
And I'm encouraging them to get it. I say, I want you to tell me when you're going to have it, which meal, what time of day. We're going to talk about how you're going to make it palatable for you. And I want you to do it every single day for 2 weeks before you make that decision. And I will take the responsibility of putting a note in my Google Calendar, and I will follow up with you, and you can trust me. I will not let you get a bill that you don't expect.
And I even say, take it for 30 days. So I actually up it even further than that, Ellen. Because Billy had a couple of his customers. He did kind of some, he's all into nutrition and he's extremely smart in that area. So he had a couple of his customers, he trialed them out on some different stuff. And what he found was that the benefits began to hit right around the 3rd week for the majority of them, right? So you've got to take it for 30 days in order to really determine what different benefits, because your gut is not going to necessarily become a healthier version of itself in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So if you say to your customer exactly what Ellen does, drink it for this many days, tell me what meal you're having it, and then I will, because I have good customer service, put a reminder in my calendar to remind you at the 3-week mark. And then when you call that person to follow up with them, the first question you ask is, what do you like about it?
Yes.
You don't say, so how's it going? What do you think? No, you say, so what do you like about Shakeology? And have them start on a positive.
I love it.
And again, we digress.
It was not really a digression. It was pertinent and applicable. So should we finish the screen share?
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi again. So I think that this recording, I don't know if anyone's going to watch it. I hope so. Well, it'll be on my YouTube. Is it okay if I have it on my YouTube, CJ? Okay. So I will have it on my YouTube, and it will definitely be something when people ask me how to, hit these markers, I can come back and share. But hopefully we have coaches that are watching this replay anyway and can just be encouraged that you guys, like all the recognition that goes on Team Play Hard every Thursday, Jen Embers is doing it, and Beth Kruzicki is doing it, and all of the leaders are stepping up and honoring their team for these categories. And you probably aren't, like I haven't been for 3 years, seeing the big picture of why and how it all translates, but you're doing the right behavior anyway. You're already doing the right behavior. So I hope you're encouraged. I hope you have some new perspective. CJ, thank you for your mentorship. We love you so much. Okay, I'm going to end the recording.
All right, bye guys.